Three, two, one. Hi, my name is Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder and CEO of GetUpNGetFit, Wellness and Fitness Coaching Concierge. And I'm also a C-suite advisor and investor, and you're listening to How May I Serve You, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while learning how to better serve our executive clientele by asking them, how may I serve you? And today's show is sponsored by Get Up and Get Fit. Get Up and Get Fit will be providing students with textbooks and school supplies in Cambodia in honor of our guest today, as well as our philanthropic mission to impact at least 50,000 people per year. And today's guest is Joshua Greco. Joshua, what's going on?
Thomas, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. So Josh is a Mindscan-Certified business coach for individuals and leadership teams. With over a decade of business development experience in the logistics and construction industries, Joshua brings a passion to develop people professionally, personally, and spiritually. Wow, Joshua, that sounds amazing.
Amen. Yeah, absolutely. I love what I do.
There you go. So let's just dive into it, Joshua. So tell us a bit about yourself. There's a 2-minute version.
Yeah, so grew up in the Buffalo, New York area, graduated college, knew I wanted to get out and find out what else was out in the world. Ended up moving to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2011 to pursue my passion, figure out what I liked, what I didn't like.
Okay.
Over the past 10 years, I've spent time at various outside sales positions for different companies. Mm-hmm. Always did well, was a top performer, but was always something missing. Something wasn't fulfilling. Something, even when I was doing well and exceeding, just something was empty about it. So I decided to become a coach about 2 years ago and just started having conversations with people who shared my passion about delivering results in the workplace, being happy with what you're doing, finding alignment with companies that you can get behind, that you believed in. And now I get to meet great people, great leaders, successful people already, and help them be more successful in their endeavors. Get super clear on what that means to be happy and fulfilled and enjoy your work and just live every day in your sweet spot. And I will not rest until I help as many people as possible to do that.
A man with a solid goal. I love it. So Joshua, let's go back a tad bit. Let's dive into your childhood, right? Where you from, right? How did you get started?
Yeah, so grew up in a town called Lockport, New York, which is actually north of Buffalo. So if you think Buffalo is almost Canada, this is even more Canada. Yeah. Maybe a half hour from Niagara Falls, and maybe an hour from Toronto.
So the west.
Yep. So Western New York, upstate, but yeah, all the way to the western part of the state. But yeah, so grew up in a good household. I grew up with 3 brothers, so that's where my competitive spirit comes from. But even growing up there, I wanted to explore. I wanted to get out. I wanted to see the world. I knew I was I saw so little of what the world offered me, and made a pretty bold move to just picked a date after I graduated college to move to a city I'd never been to. I knew one person in the area and slept on his couch for a couple of weeks, and he moved back to New York, just a couple of weeks after that. So I was off to fend for myself.
Wow. That's a bold move right there. So how long did it take you to find a job, just like being in a new environment? How long did it take you to get off the couch and really get settled in?
Yeah, longer than I had hoped. I had 6 months of bank teller experience before I moved down. So that was the incremental time I did have in the professional world. And Charlotte's the banking capital of the country. So I felt like I was going to get a banking job pretty quickly. That did not happen. To the point to where I was running out of my savings about 3 months into the move, and had a serious gut check with what I was going to do. I was either going to move back home, which was not an option, or just scratch and claw and do whatever I had to do to make it work until I found something. So that turned into working in the restaurant industry, which I very much felt was beneath me at the point. But looking back, it was exactly what I needed. And I learned a lot from that experience. I did that for about a year until I earned a sales role. And then, once I had that opportunity, there was all this motivation to prove to people that I belonged there and I was going to succeed and be a top performer. And I never looked back after that.
There you go. I could hear that competitive spirit through your story.
Absolutely.
I love it. As a former athlete, I love that right there. So before you became a coach, right? What were you doing before then?
Yeah, so the last two positions I had were outside sales roles. So one was in logistics industry
Okay.
for a third-party truckload brokerage company, and then the other one was a facilities maintenance and construction company. So I started, at the bottom. I don't know if I'd say at the bottom, but account managing. So just kind of doing operational tasks, and just knew that there was something more. I liked connecting with customers. I actually love connecting with customers, being able to solve problems for them, just connecting with them on a personal level. I'm a very relationship driven person. That's why I've succeeded in all the sales that I've done. But yeah, so at a certain point, it became not enough. But I learned so much in these past 10 years. Traveling the country. Both roles were national territories. There was no restrictions on regions or anything like that. So I saw a lot. I got to get out and see and meet a lot of people, and just learn a lot about industry and business. And I think all that experience prepared me for coaching what I do today.
There you go. The hands-on experience, because you actually experience it for yourself. You got out of the comfort zone. You were in the field. You were interacting with the clients and the various personnel, and that interpersonal and personal connection. It really helps to develop you as a person, as a professional, right? And now you're a coach. Now you've combined the plethora of experience, and now you're a coach. So with that being said, why did you get into coaching, and who do you coach?
Yeah, so coach entrepreneurs, business-minded people, business owners, and salespeople, because that's who I was, that's who I am. Yeah. So I think our ideal clients in any sales role, which I would include in my coaching role, it's always sales. I'm always looking to grow my business.
Okay.
Is who we are or who we were. To be able to teach somebody or to coach somebody or to bring somebody along that is going through the same thing that I've already gone through. There's no substitute for experience. That was kind of what you were getting at earlier. Is I've done all that. I've lived it. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I was always searching for what my purpose was or what would be meaningful to me. And in the meantime, I was kind of living out what I had to live out to get to that point. So I deal with all sorts of issues or problems that business owners have. I think a lot of people have started their own thing over these last couple of years, especially this past year with what's been going on in the world. And there's a lot of great people out there that when they took the leap, they were going to be successful no matter what, but they run into certain things that they've never seen before. And I've seen a lot of those things, so I can help them navigate that and manage people. And a lot of business owners deal with this, what I call the lonely island syndrome. Nobody cares as much about their business as they do, and they feel a lot of pressure. Yeah, you know what it's like, right? And you feel a lot of pressure, especially when you have employees, to be able to make sure the business is there so they can support themselves and their families. So there's just unless you're a business owner, you don't really know what that feeling feels like until you experience it.
Yes, indeed. And I know a lot of business owners have a problem with sales, right? A lot of folks don't have this experience with sales. Even for myself, even though growing up, I dabble into sales, but even to this day, I don't like selling. But I know that's a very, very important part of the business. In order for you to grow, you have to sell. So how do you deal with business owners that are struggling with this specific part?
Yeah, there's so many stigmas and sayings around sales, right? So I try to just flip it. If you feel like you're selling, then you will be selling, and it will just not come off the right way. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. I mean, I love that quote, right? Because if it's going to solve a problem, people will pay for value, right? Yeah. If they see the value in it, they will invest as long as they're getting a return on it. So you have to view that as a business owner. If you truly believe in your product and what you do, whether it's a product or a service, then you believe that there's value to give to people. Now, if you find yourself pitchy or trying to convince somebody to buy it, then it's probably not the right person. You think of it like this, Thomas. There's over 340 million people in this country. You really only need 20 to 30, maybe a few more, really A clients to last you your whole career. At least that's what it is in the coaching model. And it's, I'm sure it is for a lot of other businesses as well. If you get repeat customers that keep coming back and want to spread the word, don't waste your time with the people who are asking you to convince them to buy it. People who want your product will pay you money for it.
Yes, indeed. So I guess it's all about finding the right type of clientele.
Yes. Yeah. So, and that starts with being very clear on your mission and vision and just aligning yourself with that and being true to that, because that's going to attract people to you. That's actually what attracted me to the company, the coaching company that I work for. There was alignment with what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be as a person. It was a no-brainer. It was like, of course I want to be a part of this. So if you're like that in your business and you're super clear on the value you provide for people, it's just about finding the people that need exactly that thing.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you 100%. So, what would you say your coaching style is, Josh?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm a good listener, I would say. I don't know if that's the case for a lot of business professionals. I've worked on that skill myself. It comes from, there's an old principle: seek to understand, then to be understood. I may know an answer and how to guide people, but if they don't feel heard, they're not going to listen to me. So a lot of the beginning discussions are just exploratory. Tell me what you're dealing with. Tell me your history. Why do you see things the way that you do? Why is your perception such that way? And if I can understand that, then they're basically telling me how to communicate with them.
Yes,
so I can kind of craft my response, my answer, to a way that makes sense for them and give them a new lens through which to see the world.
So you have a customized approach. You're very in tune. You listen. So
people first, always.
First.
Everything's people first. Mm-hmm.
There you go. And that's how it's supposed to be. I'm glad you all use a script and you actually take the time to listen to your clients and, I guess, analyze them in a way where you're able to extract the right information.
Yeah, and a lot of people want to share it. All you have to do is ask the right questions, and then keep asking questions. My favorite question is, tell me more about that. It's so simple. Like I'm not doing anything, but it forces them to go a layer deeper and to get to a little bit closer to the root of why they actually feel the way that they do about that certain thing.
Yeah, and people like to talk about themselves too. Once they feel heard, and they feel comfortable. It's funny being a New Yorker, right? Us New Yorker, we have this stigma where we are mean, we don't like to socialize, but spark up a conversation with a New Yorker. They will never stop. Spark up a conversation with a New Yorker. Trust me, you see this all the time. So it's I'm glad you have this approach, and it's more of a conversational discovery approach. So if someone were looking for a coach, right? What traits would you advise to look for?
So if you could be a little bit clear on your question. So do I look for in people, or should people look for in a coach?
For a person to look for in a coach doing their discovery, the search.
Yeah, so I think it's somebody that they can be comfortable with, but is also going to push them. So there's a fine line with that, right? You will know yourself what type of person that you need to help coach you. Is it somebody? Are you going to benefit from somebody screaming in your face? There's certainly people who would benefit from that. There's other people that would just crush. So know yourself, know what you need, and then go off your intuition. If it feels right, if this person helps you clarify and get value right away, like don't be pitched on some perceived value that's going to happen in the future. On my first exploratory call, I try to provide as much value as possible, whatever that may mean. We just try to make incremental steps or incremental progress towards whatever obstacle you're trying to overcome. So if you're looking for a coach, be clear on what you want and be coachable. Be able to listen, be able to come and show up and open to new perspectives, because in order to get what you want, if you've never had it, you have to become somebody new. You have to become a different version of yourself.
You know what, Josh? This is something that I'm surprised that a lot of my other guests have not mentioned. To be coachable, right?
Yeah.
It's so important for the clients to also be coachable as well.
Has to be. Yeah, I have something called a Coachability Index. And if I feel, even if a client or prospect is interested, that there's a little pull or they're going to show up and they know everything, I share that with them. Are you able to be, there's like 8 questions about you being open to coaching, giving credit to other people, that sort of thing, coming from a place of humility. And if I don't get all 4s and 5s on that survey, it's another conversation. Like, what's the problem here? What are you looking for? Because I don't know if I can deliver that to you if you're not coachable. So that's such a key component of that. And I have to do that myself. I embody that myself as a coach. I have a coach myself, and I know what it takes to become somebody more. Become somebody that old me would look up to. That's what I strive for in myself, and that's how I try to coach my clients as well.
Okay. So your index, right? Is it a personality assessment?
So yeah, that's something completely different. So the mind scan, should we hop into that? Is that okay?
Let's just dive into it because I'm gonna ask you a few
Yeah.
more questions. So let's dive. So what is Mindscan, by the way, man? That sounds so neat.
Yeah, so it's based on this concept. It's an assessment, okay? A lot of people
Okay.
have assessments, and there's DISC assessment, and there's a lot of great assessments out in the market today. This is different because it's not a personality assessment. It's
Mhm.
based in mathematical algorithms. And it's, Thomas, think of it like this. So we know at its basic core level that results follow our actions,
Mhm.
and then actions follow our thinking. So if we want new results, sure, we can change our actions, but what comes before that is between our ears. Yes.
Mhm.
So this mind scan takes 10, 15 minutes to complete. All you do is organize some statements in order. And it's incredible because it's extremely intuitive, and it tells what we prioritize in our thinking, what our thinking biases are, quote unquote biases, and then our clarities. And it just gives us immediate feedback. It's all based in relation, one statement to the next, and it's all mathematically driven. So just a simple little investment of 15 minutes, and you get 20 pages of your thinking profile, and it
Wow.
basically sets the tone for the coaching relationship. It's quite amazing.
Interesting. So this the Mindscan is it only for your company or is it white label?
Yeah, good question. So let me give a little background. So a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Hartman created it. Okay, he actually was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for his work in formal axiology.
Wow.
So, yep. So formal axiology is the study of value systems. Okay, so it's what we value in our thinking.
Mhm.
So very early on, the CEO of my company, his name's Rich Campy, invested in this tool and now owns the rights to it. So you can find the tool online and you can pay for it. I think it's $500 if you find it on the internet. But we administer it for free for anybody who's willing to engage and learn about themselves. You know, it's just a
Nice.
value add right from the get-go. At the very least, you will find out more about yourself and your thinking patterns. And if that's the value you get, and you want to go on your way, great. If you want to have a coaching conversation after that, let's do it.
That's amazing right there. That's amazing. And that's how you mentioned earlier, you provide massive value up front. And that's a massive value right there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's massive value right there. It's kind of, as I'm listening to you right now, I'm looking at the correlation and the similarities between your what you do and what I do as a coach. But we focus more on the behavior science side, right? We have our clients understand the why, what drives them. Then we work backwards. We reverse engineer.
Yep.
So I'm glad you have something similar that helps to really assess the client in detail, how they think, because everything starts from your thought process. And you get it, Josh. You get it.
100%.
In order for you to change your lifestyle, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your behavior. So we are equally yoked in that department.
Yeah.
So Josh, what drives you, man?
I want to help people. You know, I've experienced it myself, how I could use a lot of descriptive words here, how relieving it feels, how fulfilling it feels, how it makes me happy to become a better version of myself.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm blessed enough to have discovered a lot of this at an early age. A lot of people go their whole lives without even discovering, like law of attraction and the idea that thinking is powerful and our thoughts can change our world. I want to share this with people. I want to show other people. I want to eliminate suffering in the world. That's a mission statement of my company, is to bring relief and eliminate suffering in the workplace. And you can do that by approaching it in a new way, by realizing that you can be happy with what you do. You can work with people that you really love to work with, and you can make really great money doing that. That's my core belief. I want to teach the world that. I want to show everybody that.
And that's power right there. That's a powerful thing right there too. Work with the people you like while making money and just having a good mindset. That's
Yeah,
powerful.
that's a sweet spot right there.
Definitely. So Josh, are you
Mhm.
currently working on any new projects? And if you are, do you mind sharing with us?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm looking to grow the coaching practice. So anybody who wants to engage with the Mindscan, I love it so much. I've probably reviewed, I'd say, hundreds and hundreds. Maybe I'm probably pushing the 1,000 mark.
Wow.
So yeah. So I've seen quite a few profiles. They're all unique. But anybody out there who's looking to, find out more about themselves, I'm more than happy to engage in like a consultative environment. There's no commitment to it. I also host my own podcast. So I've learned that there's another way I can deliver value. I host it with a fellow coach, and it's called Truth Seekers.
Nice.
And it's about success principles in business. So what we do is invite guests on who have overcome obstacles, achieved great things in their business, and we break it down to what was the turning point, or what did you actually overcome, and how did you feel about that, all that sort of stuff, so that our listeners can kind of break that down and apply it to their own lives. So value for people who are listening too.
Nice. I love it. So if someone were to inquire about your services or just want to connect with you, Josh, where can they find you?
Sure. Yeah. So the company website is ProAdvisorCoach.com. I can share an email as well. So Joshua@ProAdvisorCoach, very official. I know the name is showing Josh here, but Joshua is the birth name. So Joshua@ProAdvisorCoach.com. And LinkedIn. I post a lot of content. I have my own YouTube channel. This is all about people. We mentioned that, Thomas, right? It's people first always. If you just want to have a conversation, if you want to, broaden your horizon or get a new perspective, I'm open to all people's perspectives. I love meeting new people because there's so many different, unique, diverse people out there. I'd like to hear everybody's story. It's just so I gain from it myself just by listening, just by asking questions. So anybody who wants to engage, I'm more than happy to engage.
Everyone, blow up his inbox,
Fill it up,
right?
Fill up the inbox.
In his email, right? Hit him up right now. Hit him up.
Appreciate that.
So Josh, thanks for coming today, man. And I really appreciate everything you shared with us, right? I love your energy. I love what you stand for, and just having this conversation, it's like I feel as if I've known you for years.
Yeah.
I met you like about a month ago. So continue doing what you're doing, continue striving forward, right? And last but not least, Josh, how may I serve you?
Oh, what a great question. What would give me the greatest lift, Thomas, is I can share the Mindscan link with you. I'd love to engage you with that as well. Maybe if you share that with your network and just ask people to engage with that, that would be a huge benefit for not only your followers, but me as well. That'd be a great thing.
And I shall. Send me the information. Send me the deets.
Awesome.
I'm down.
I love it.
So thanks again for coming through. And everyone, thanks for coming and lending us your ears and your eyeballs. And make sure to tune in next week. Take care.